Have you ever watched someone you care about slowly disappear? Not with a fight, not with anger, but with silence. One day they're there, and the next ... just distance. No big blow-up, no final conversation, just an ending you never saw coming. And you're left replaying every moment, every word, trying to pinpoint where it all went wrong. It's a uniquely painful experience, feeling like a ghost in a story you thought you were But here's the thing most people don't realize. That silence is rarely empty. It's packed with meaning, with fear, with protection, and with 1,000 things left unsaid. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the psychology of silence. We'll explore why some people pull away instead of explaining themselves, and what their silence is really trying to tell you. When someone goes quiet and pulls away without an explanation, it's so easy to make it about us. We think, what did I do? But psychologically, it's often not about you at all. Silence is one of the brain's oldest, most primitive defense mechanisms. It's a way to regain a sense of control when emotions become completely overwhelming. Trauma psychologists talk about the 4 core responses our nervous system has when it detects a threat: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Now, this threat doesn't have to be a physical one. It can be emotional danger. When someone pulls away and shuts down, it's often a form of the freeze response. They stop all communication to avoid what they perceive as further emotional pain. It's as if their mind is screaming, I can't handle this right now, so I'm going to disappear until I feel safe again. For them, silence isn't a weapon meant to hurt you, it's a shield. It's survival. So, where does this behavior come from? For many people who resort to silence, it's a learned response from childhood. Imagine growing up in a home where expressing your feelings anger, frustration lead to conflict, rejection, or even punishment. You quickly learn that showing emotion is dangerous. So, as an adult, confrontation of any kind feels like a threat. Instead of being able to say, hey, what you said hurt me, or I'm feeling overwhelmed and need some space, they just vanish. Explaining themselves feels far too risky. Psychologists often link this to an avoidant attachment style, where emotional distance is seen as the ultimate form of Their silence is a message, but it's a coded one. It says, if I don't talk, you can't judge me. If I don't explain, you can't misunderstand me. But in their desperate attempt to stay safe, they end up hurting the very people who care about them and isolating themselves in the process. However, we have to be honest. Silence isn't always about self-protection. It can also be a form of control, whether that's conscious or not. In some relationships, silence is used to dodge accountability or to shift the emotional power dynamic. This is what's commonly known as the silent treatment. Here, the silence isn't born from fear, but from a desire for dominance. It's a tactic that creates intense anxiety in the other person, forcing them to chase, to apologize, to seek closure that the silent person has no intention of giving. The line between protective silence and manipulative silence is incredibly thin, and the real difference is the intention behind it. One person withdraws to find their own peace, the other withdraws to shatter yours. Understanding which one you're dealing with is key to deciding whether you should try to reach out, or if it's time to let go. For the person left behind, the one on the receiving end of the silence, it is absolutely brutal. The human brain is hardwired for closure and narrative completion. When a story ends abruptly with no explanation, it triggers something called cognitive dissonance. Your mind can't file it away, so it just keeps spinning, desperately searching for that missing piece of the puzzle. This is why silence can often hurt more than a direct rejection. At least, with rejection, there's an answer. Silence leaves a void, and our brains rush to fill it with the worst-case scenarios. I must have done something wrong. I wasn't good enough. I'm unlovable. In reality, these stories we tell ourselves have very little to do with the truth. It's just your brain trying to make sense of emotional chaos. And sometimes, the healthiest, most powerful form of closure is accepting that you may never get one from them. So, how do you begin to heal when someone's silence is echoing louder than any words ever could? The first step is to reframe it. Their silence is not a measurement of your worth. It's a reflection of their own emotional capacity. or lack thereof. Having compassion doesn't mean you have to chase them or excuse their behavior. It simply means recognizing their silence as a symptom of their own struggle, not a verdict on you. And if you're the one who tends to go quiet, it's worth asking yourself, am I withdrawing to protect my peace? Or am I punishing someone because I don't know how to communicate my pain? Because while silence might feel safe in the moment, it can also protect your wounds, keeping them from ever truly healing. Real, lasting peace doesn't come from avoiding difficult conversations. It comes from finding the courage to finally say what your silence has been hiding. Ultimately, silence can mean so many things: fear, exhaustion, self-protection, and yes, sometimes cruelty. But at its very core, it's a language of unprocessed emotion. It's a quiet, desperate way of saying, I'm hurting, but I don't have the words or the tools to talk about it. And sometimes, truly understanding that is the only closure you will ever need. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content just like this. See you in the next one.